Bloggo's POW.
Bloggo's pile of shame. Okay, so this isn't really a pile of shame this time. It's a bag of shame. Ha! Okay, so what happened is a friend at work gifted me a great big pile of original Xbox games last week, and rather than putting them straight into the pile of shame and getting around to them, I decided to play the first 5 minutes of all of them just to give a quick impression, see how they are. So here goes. So, return to Castle Wolfenstein was first out of the pile. Now I've played the PC version of this a lot. I've finished the PC version. This starts off with a different level, so I don't think it's a different game. I think it's got this like tutorial level at the beginning, and I got really annoyed with the tutorial level. It didn't seem to be very coherent at all. I mean, the gunplay was all solid and that, pretty good. Wandering around, shooting stuff, looking for secrets like that, but I'm not sure why this extra level in Egypt was pasted on at the beginning. Oh well, yeah, but yeah, definitely worth some of your time should you find it. It is looking a bit dated these days. Okay, Max Payne 2. I don't think I've played Max Payne 2. I've played a lot of Max Payne 1. Max Payne 2 is more the same. Seems to be a little bit more story heavy from what I remember Max Payne 1 being like. Not to say it's bad. It's good. The slow motion gunplay is still there. Dual wielding pistols is still there, and so's the ability to run into objects and make them fall over in a crazy physics style, which is always amusing. Yep, good stuff. Move along. Okay, I'm not sure if this is a piece of absolute rubbish or a piece of satirical genius. To make a game this bad, it can only be a comment on commercial property, IP and things like that. I think I'm giving it a bit too much credit here, aren't I? It's just shit. So, Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball. This is the only game that was in the bag I actually already owned, and I have covered the third one before on the previous video. Yeah, it's fun. It's really good, chilled out fun. If you put aside the boobs, I know for a lot of people are thinking, well, what is left if you take away the boobs? It's actually a really solid volleyball game and a really nice chilled out experience. And as you can hear, I have played it lots before, and I'm using a custom soundtrack. But what am I using as the soundtrack? Answers below. Now this is an unusual one. Disney's Haunted Mansion, a kind of game I would have completely ignored back in the day, just simply because it had the Disney tag on it. I'm not a big Disney fan. But it's quite a fun sort of Luigi's Mansion, Zombies Ain't My Neighbours sort of thing. You have to wander around searching things and freeing up ghosts and capturing them in your lamp. So it's sort of got like a arcade sensibility to that, but also like a puzzle sensibility as well. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised with this. It's pretty good. So I got both Splinter Cell games in the bag. For some reason the first one would load, but it wouldn't allow me to capture footage. It was the wrong resolution. But hey ho, here's Splinter Cell 2. Yeah, I've never got into the Splinter Cell games, and they are quite complex in the way they do their stealth. Always used to put me off a bit, but I can see its merits. It is a very solid game. There's as I say, the controls are very intricate. You've got to do so much with your character. Almost to the point where it's initially, I think, almost baffling for someone like me who likes to run into a building shooting guns. But I don't know if I'll get the time to actually put into Splinter Cell what Splinter Cell would want from me. But still, it's nice to actually sit down and have a few minutes with it. So, Simpsons Hit and Run. I'm really surprised following the lawsuit that followed from Road Rage for Crazy Taxi, that there's not a Grand Theft Auto lawsuit for this. This is Grand Theft Simpsons, basically. A series of fetch missions, go to the Quickie Mart, pick up this, go back to Marge, that sort of thing. It's competently programmed, it looks nice, it sounds like The Simpsons, but it's I've been there, I've done it, but elsewhere, so not massively interested.
I love senselessly pushing things.
Right, Medal of Honor Frontline. Okay, I have played some of the old Medal of Honors, and they're okay. This one here, I spent the first mission, which is predictably enough the D-Day landings, because it always has to be, thank you to Saving Private Ryan. And I spent the first 5 minutes of this game running up a beach and not knowing what I was doing. I was supposed to save some people, but by the time I realised I should save some people, I'd actually stormed the beach on my own. I didn't need them. But the game wouldn't let me go any further because I hadn't saved these 4 privates that were floundering around on the beach somewhere. I didn't know where they were. So I got annoyed with it and turned it off. Amped, one of the original Xbox launch games, a snowboarding game with a soundtrack which will probably get me a copyright strike. Yeah, it's okay. And the main problem with Amped is the main problem most snowboarding games have, is they're not SSX tricky. So I've had a quick go on it, but my muscle memory kept on trying to let me do SSX tricks when they obviously weren't working. I think by that measure Amped is a little bit more realistic. Yeah, nice to have, but maybe we want to play SSX. Right, 13. This is really good. I'd never played this before. I'd always seen people play it and recommend it, and I think when this came out I was very much a first person shooter PC snob, so even though it came out on PC, my friends were playing on console, but I was, yeah. But this is really good. If you get a chance to play this either on Xbox, GameCube, PC or PS2, seriously, it's got such a good style to it. It's really good fun. Yeah, definitely worth going, and I'm going to come back to this. It's really good. Prince of Persia, Warrior Within. Is this, I can't remember if this is the first, second or third of the first Prince of Persia reimagining. Yeah, it's not bad. It's some pretty solid combat moves. It looks nice for its time. It has, considering in the same generation, well, it shares the same generation with God of War 1 and 2, and I think that's the problem here, is whereas this is good, again I find myself wanting to play something else, and that's God of War 1 or 2. But it's okay. If you finish God of War 1 and 2, you pick up this. Yeah, this is going to be good fun. I didn't play long enough for to get to the meat of the story. I just reached the first boss and died. Yeah, it's okay, I suppose, if you haven't got God of War already. The Sims! I have no idea what's going on here. well, I have some idea what's going on here because there's a little checklist of things to do, but I have no idea what's going on here. Managed to set fire to the kitchen, and I'm quite happy with that as a result. I know it's not really my game. Okay, Thief. Played the tutorial level of Thief. I'm not into stealthy games, as I said with Splinter Cell, but I can see why this gets a lot of love. It is really good, really enthralling. You really do get a feeling that you can just sneak past people. A lot of stealth-based games I don't have the confidence to get past without being seen. This one, yeah, it feels like you're really making headway without being noticed. Really good stuff. Really recommend it. And you know what, I might actually go back to it, even though I don't particularly like stealth games. And lastly, we have Conflict Vietnam. Third person shooter. Now the first 5 minutes was taken up by wandering around a base camp doing various tutorial bollocks things which involved letting somebody die.
You are going to need to be faster to save lives.
When I did finally get to the point where I was shooting at something down the range, the combat seemed needlessly complicated. Aim down the sight, press this button to aim down further, press this button to reload, press this button to prone. Maybe I'm getting lax in my old age. Maybe I'm so used to playing the likes of Call of Duty or something like that, but this just felt wooden and stiff and not a lot of fun. So there's 14 games which have been saved from the pile of shame. I played them, so I don't have to play them again. Well, in some cases I might do. What did you think of them? Have you got a pile of games you haven't played through yet? Comment below.
Yeah, subscribe or naff off.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny that when a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face.